Hi, on this channel we spend a lot of time, most of our time, talking about solar installations, batteries, backup systems, hybrid systems, etc. Everything related to solar, great structures and lovely installations like this one on my roof. But in this particular video I wanted to take you on a journey. Actually, I went all the way back to the UK, and on this occasion I chose to rent an electric vehicle, and I wanted to show a video about what that experience was like, and hopefully you'll find it as fun as I did making the trip. I'm Roger Sherman, this is EcoCentro. So today is Thursday. I picked up this car just under a week ago on a Friday at Gatwick Airport, and I must say I've been very impressed with the ease with which the car drives. The road holding, the one pedal driving is really fantastic, and surprisingly how easy the whole process of charging and the so-called range anxiety, of that. It is, the car tells you how much charge you've got, what's the range, and makes suggestions in terms of where and when to charge. So I think it's really easy, and at the end we're going to add up exactly what we've spent on charging compared with the number of miles we've done, and do a comparison of what it would have cost in an ICE car in the same period. And I am sure there's been considerable savings using a full EV. So here we are in sunny Amlock, and even here there's a little DC charger with a 50 kilowatt charge rate, which is not bad for a remote place in Wales, is it? One of the nice features of the Polestar 2 is if you're arriving to the back of the car with shopping or luggage, you just kick your foot underneath and it unlocks and opens the back of the car for you. Very nice feature. Same for closing. Just kick underneath and the back hatch closes. We're now gonna show you the inside. The cockpit is a nice place to be. It's comfortable, and as soon as you get in, everything turns on, and basically, to inverted commas start the car, you just pull the gear stick into drive, and then the dashboard shows that you're ready to go. It also shows that I have my seatbelt on, so obviously we will do that now. Hertz leaves a sticker, and if you follow that QR code it takes you to a video which explains the basics of the car. Let me take you through the information screen. Here we are on maps. If we go to the car setup, here are some very important things. So steering feel, you can vary between light, standard and firm. You can turn off the electronic stability control, and this is a fantastic feature. For those of you who've driven an electric car before, you'll be very familiar with one pedal driving. If you haven't, it's a great feature, and you rarely, if ever, need the brakes when you use it on standard. And obviously with the advantage is when you slow down, you're having regenerative braking, and that energy goes back into the battery. This feature, creep on and off, is to make it feel like an automatic gearbox. I have it off. I don't think there's any advantage to having it on. I've tried both, and it's definitely better without it. If we go to the assist menu, then there's lots of features here. Basically driver support, which is the adaptive cruise control, which is fantastic if you're particularly if you're on a motorway. The lane keeping guide, road sign information, driver alert, collision avoidance, ready to drive notification, and all of these features can be turned on or off. Having seen some other reviews, I was a little bit concerned about charging this car. The reality is we've driven from Gatwick Airport down to the south coast and then all the way up to North Wales, Anglesey. Had no problems whatsoever. The journey from the south coast to North Wales, I did one charge only and no issues whatsoever. And now we're ready to go, and dashboard is really nice. You've got remaining charge estimated range. So we've got 88% charge at the moment, 220-mile range. The speed, we're in gear, we're ready, and the map. Another really nice feature is this all-around camera, which allows you to get into tight spaces, in and out of tight spaces very nicely. The cable is used for Apple CarPlay, or to connect an Android phone as well. I think slightly surprising on this level of vehicle is that it doesn't have automated wipers, or at least if they do, I can't find it. So that is just to make them go once, and then you've got obviously the adjusted interval, then you've got on, and you've got double speed. So that's very standard windshield wiper controls. So you just hit park, and it goes into park on the dashboard, and it shows that the handbrake is on, and then you just get out of the car and lock it. That simple. Both the driver and the passenger have a lot of room in this Polestar. What is slightly surprising is the back seat space is not as generous as you might think for a car of this size, to be honest. For such a relatively large car, the rear seat room is not huge. This is my driving position. I've got very little leg room here. There's also a big tunnel here, so if you've got 3 people in the back, it would not be comfortable at all. Headroom is, I've got my sunglasses up there, so headroom is, you know, not massive, is it? So this is more of a car for 2 people than 3 or 4. In the rear there are 2 more USB-C charge points, and there's the vents for heating or cooling. The view out the front is okay. The view out the back is really very limited. You use your side wing mirrors way more than the rear view mirror, because it is a very small gap to see out. The fit and finish of the car is very nice, very plush. Nice brushed metal handles. There's obviously electric control for the windows, and everything just feels nicely put together. Nice materials in this car. Hertz Rental comes with a contract with Shell Recharge, which makes it very easy to stop at any Shell garage that has a electric EV charger, because you just wave the fob and then the cost of it gets charged to the credit card that you left with Hertz. So really, really easy, and I haven't had a single issue with any of the Shell Recharge chargers. I have used other chargers, but the Shell has been very easy. You can also see in the center console the same information. Basically here we're showing how much charge and what the set point is, in this case 100%. There are lots of different apps that you can use to show you the location of chargers. I'm using one called Zap Map, and what I'm able to do with that is filter according to certain criteria. So for example, the network, the charge network, the charge rate. You can do it by price, and obviously a map. So it also allows you a route planning feature, so you can say where you're going, and it will show you where you can charge. Now on Google Maps on the car, you can also do that, and I'll show you that right now. All right, so this morning we have a long drive down back south to Surrey from North Wales. First stop will be Oswestry, which is showing us 2 hours 47 minutes, 92 miles, and we'll get there with 47% charge. Right now we have 85% charge and a range of 230 miles. So, just doing a top-up charge before returning the car to the airport. They asked you to bring it back with the same or higher state of charge than you took it, similar to a petrol engine. This had 77 when I picked it up at Gatwick, so we're going to have higher than that to give us a chance to get to Gatwick and still have 77% or more when we get there. So currently charging at 48 kilowatts. This charger is advertised as a 50, but it's always slightly below that in my experience. And we were at 71, we're at 72, and you can see the charge going in, and the same thing on the big screen. So now I'm back in Mexico. I've had a bit of time to reflect on my experience renting the Polestar 2 in London. And as promised, I said I would do a cost comparison. Now, somewhat to my surprise, I think I probably spent more using the DC fast chargers that I use, because it comes out at 79 pence per kilowatt hour. I drove 966 miles and I charged, let's have a look, I calculate 286 kilowatt hours. The cheapest way to charge an electric vehicle in the UK is to off-peak rate, charging at home, obviously with a home charge or just with the regular 3-pin plug. I didn't have that opportunity because, you know, I was traveling and I wasn't going to ask my family to pay for my electric charge. So, you know, my bad. So overall, I spent £226 on electric charging, which makes a cost per mile of about 23p. That is much higher than anything but, you know, a real gas guzzling, I would say full size or a luxury car. Most cars now in the UK are getting, what, 50 miles to the gallon, something around that. So definitely it was more expensive on a purely economic basis to rent the electric car. I did tremendously enjoy the experience. The Polestar's a really nice car to drive, has that low center of gravity, great road holding, that acceleration that just comes on, there's no gear changes, the one pedal driving is very relaxing, the adaptive cruise control, all of those things made it a very pleasant experience for two people. If I was going back to the UK and we were 3 or 4 people with more luggage, I don't think I would select the Polestar. I think I would go for a Tesla Model Y or something like that with much more boot space, trunk space, and much larger cabin, especially in the rear seats. So that would be one thing. But for two people, the kind of trip that I made, the Polestar was a great vehicle, and I would definitely do it again. You know, I don't like to complain. I find it quite annoying, but I just wanted to tell you all about a little experience that I had at the very end of my rental period with Hertz. Now, obviously, I'm returning the car to an airport. There's always that nervousness that you've got to go and check in for your flight, etc. You're a bit crunched for time. And I arrived, we had rain, similar to when I had picked up the car. And you know, a very friendly girl who was checking me in, but she started to go over the car with a fine-tooth comb. Now, to put this in perspective, this is a car with 22,000 miles on the clock, and I've subsequently discovered that on the checkout info of the car, that all 4 of the wheels, the actual alloy wheels, had visible damage. They didn't try and get me to take responsibility for that damage, but they claim that I damaged a tyre which had what the young lady referred to as a bubble. To me, it looked like a defective tyre, and to be quite honest, because it was raining when I picked up the car, and we never felt anything, I didn't hit anything, I didn't go into a particularly big pothole or anything like that, I don't think that damage was mine, and yet Hertz have charged me £256 for a new tyre, which is a hell of a lot of money, and another £45, I think, for administrative costs. I'm claiming that with the insurance. I did buy the additional insurance for the excess, so hopefully I will get that money back. But it did leave a really sour taste in my mouth. I am sure I didn't cause that damage, and if it was my car and that happened, I would tell the manufacturer that the tyre was defective rather than it being damaged. So yeah, very, very annoying. And you know what I don't understand is, how do they expect you to use a car without putting any wear and tear on the tyres. That's a difficult one. And this isn't a brand new car. This car has 22,000 miles on the clock. So for a rental car, that's on the high side, I would say. That's my experience. And yeah, unfortunately, it left a sour taste in the mouth, and I've expressed my displeasure to Hertz, and we'll see what happened. But try not to let it colour in any way the entire trip. The trip was fun. I enjoyed driving the car, and yeah, hopefully this video has been useful for someone who's thinking about doing the same thing. This has been a very unusual video for us. We normally talk strictly about solar, about batteries, about backup power, all that kind of thing. So please subscribe to the channel. If you find this video interesting, if you got this far, give us a thumbs up, please, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much.